Hey guys, Stephen Gilbert here with soulweb.org, where internet marketing meets integrity. Now, to me, the worst thing about running your online business is having to sell, right? I don't know. For some reason, I don't feel good at it. I know I struggled with it, especially when I first started. You got the whole copywriting thing and their emails or writing ads. Selling is not easy, and a lot of Western societies see selling as kind of, some people at least see it as potentially sleazy. I don't see it that way. I think there's definitely some ethical selling, but I do see how hard it is, especially if you're new. Yeah, you can come in, start this whole online business thing and whatnot, but if you can't sell, you're not going to make money. And that's why I'm excited about this software today, because it does all the selling for you. And I think you're really going to like it. So on today's show, we've got Brett Rutecki. Welcome, Brett.
Hey, thanks, Stephen. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, buddy. And he's going to talk to us about this software, which does all the selling for you. So you just kind of pocket the cash. And we're also going to be talking about how to combine it with one of my bonuses to get you traffic. So, his software does the selling. I get you the traffic. You pocket the rest. So pretty straightforward, but this is something that's really cool. I don't think a software like this has ever been released on JVZoo, and we're just kind of really excited to talk about it. So real quick, Brett, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in internet marketing? How much do you make? Just introduce yourself to people who may not know who you are.
I used to be a freelance software developer. That's how I got started. I was coding for other people. And I started getting hired by internet marketers. So they were actually hiring me to do their software. This was about 4 years ago. Eventually, as I'm working with these people, it was kind of weird because I was asking them questions. So I'm like working with them writing their software, but every once in a while, I'd throw in a little marketing question. I'd be like, how does this work? And how do these things work? And how do you do that? And after doing that for about 2 years, I kind of realized something. I was like, wait a minute, you guys just trained me. And I can write software. Why do I need you guys? Not to be cocky, but that's literally what I thought to myself. I'm like, why am I still writing your software? So what I did was I decided to go out on my own. Now, I was profitable from the beginning, but I wasn't hugely profitable from the beginning. It took me about a year to build my business up. So I think my first year I might have done about $80,000 in sales. That was 4 years ago. Last year I did $1.24 million in sales.
Wow.
So I definitely did the right thing. I learned quickly, and I do definitely know what works online. So
that's really good, man. That's like, everybody's dream. I mean, I don't even make that much, and I've been doing this twice as long as you have. That's incredible, dude. So you started out as a software developer, jumped into IM, and really, what I've noticed is you've kind of carved out a niche for yourself in this space, right? Because there's a lot of scummy sellers out there, a lot of liars, a lot of bad shit going on, and you really kind of built your name on being trustworthy, right? Like, people know you as the guy who's going to tell it like it is, and that's hurt you in some ways with other vendors and affiliates, but I feel like customers really love it.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of those guys. They have a term around here. We live in different areas of the country, but around here we have a term. They say, "Where's your heart on your sleeve?" I'm definitely one of those guys. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I always say what I think. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes I come out a little brash, sometimes I come out a little rude. But the people who are following me, they know that Brett will never lie to me, because he always says what he thinks. They're like, "Well, maybe you're a little aggressive, Brett, but we know you're never going to lie because you always say what you think." And that's definitely been something that has helped me with my business, because one of the main things in this business is trust. And though some people think like, oh man, Brett's a little harsh sometimes, at least we know he'll never lie to me.
Right, and that's kind of what you earn my respect. That way, I've seen you take on some of the biggest and richest internet marketers in the world with your honesty, because you just tell it like it is. If someone's selling some bullshit scam, you tell your guys it's bullshit scam. I mean, you're probably one of the top most honest internet marketers, and I'm not saying this for everyone like watching to butter you up. You know, go. What's your website? Everybody, just go check out his website and look at his reviews. You'll see how thorough they are and how in depth they are. I mean, he leaves nothing out, and if something's bullshit, he tells you. So what's your website, just so they can see kind of how you've built this reputation for yourself?
It's BrettRutecki.com.
Okay, BrettRutecki.com, guys. BrettRutecki.com. Seriously, just go. You know, don't take my word for it. Go read his reviews, man. You know, he's made a lot of enemies, but he's also made a lot of friends because he's part of the movement to kind of turn things around. Cut out the bullshit, keep people accountable, and so I really respect that. So kind of segueing from that, Brett, in your eyes, how is Autonars, stand out? How is it going to help people?
Okay, so usually what I do, and I have a really big advantage now, being a marketer and a developer. So a lot of times people say, like, where do you get ideas for products? Well, I mean, I'm a top affiliate on JVZoo. I'm also a top vendor on JVZoo. So a lot of the times when I see something that I need in my business, right, I start looking around and seeing if there's a solution, if something already exists. If it doesn't exist, I create it. So all of the products that I actually sell are things that I wanted for my business that weren't out there, or there weren't things that were good enough for me. So I say, okay, cool. I'm a developer. I could just make it for my business. Once I use it in my business, for example, Autonars has been done for 5 months. I'm just releasing it now. That's because I've been using it for 5 months to make sure it works right. Once it's done, I go ahead and sell it.
So what's Autonars do, right? So if I'm a newbie, what's Autonars going to do for me, and how am I going to make money with it?
So the initial problem that I had when I was developing Autonars was I wanted to do webinars.
Right.
Okay.
And for those that may not know, can you explain a webinar?
Yeah, webinar is a live presentation. So when you're doing a live presentation, generally speaking, what you do is 2 parts. You do a little bit of training, and then you sell them something. So you give a little, and then you have the chance to get a little.
Right.
Now, some people are going to go through your freebie, your free training, and they're going to leave. And some people are going to stay for the whole thing, say thanks for helping me out, and they're going to buy from you. It's a good way to build a relationship. You help people before you try to sell to them, right? It's a great way to do sales. The thing about webinars is, though, you generally do them live.
And they're hard.
They're hard. There's actually hard for a couple of reasons. And they work really well. I made $100,000 last year doing webinars.
Oh yeah. I mean, webinar sales can range from, you could sell something for $27, but more frequently what you see is, webinar sales range in the $500 commission range to the $1,000 to the $5,000 commission range. There are just huge commissions to be made from webinars, but they're hard. And see, this is why Autonars is special.
Yes.
Go ahead.
They're difficult for a couple of reasons. I mean, first of all, you have to get a lot of people there at the exact same time. If you're doing a webinar at 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning, you need to get 200-300 people to show up at 10 a.m. Tuesday morning.
Yep.
That's hard, right from the door.
Yep.
And when you're doing the webinar, you have to worry about tech issues. Your internet goes out, your screen closes, your computer crashes. You look like a total jerk, right?
And then the selling's the hardest part, man.
You actually have to put the presentation together and make sure it's a good presentation, make sure people are going to enjoy it, get benefit out from it, and then want to buy the product that you're promoting. That takes a ton of time. Okay. I remember when I did my first webinars in 2014, and this is something that a lot of people just getting started can really relate to. Being live on a camera in front of a couple of hundred people is extremely intimidating.
It's scary.
When I did my very first webinar, I was doing it. I had about 75 people there. I got on the webinar, I got on the camera, I said, hi, and that was it. I froze.
Yeah, that's happening to me too.
I closed the software.
I had
in the middle of the webinar. I sent everybody an email that said, oh, my computer crashed, sorry.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I froze, and it was an awkward 5-second silence. So I pretended like I was having technical issues, and then I was like, okay, sorry about that. My mic stopped working. I regained my composure. They're scary.
What's that?
I said, they're scary, right? And if I'm a newbie, webinars is not something I'm going to be doing, right? Unless I use Autonars. So how does Autonars fix all those problems?
Okay, so Autonars fixes the problems in a couple of ways. First of all, it's an evergreen webinar. It always runs. That means you don't have to get people to show up at 10 o'clock on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
It always runs. Whenever they're ready to see the webinar, it's ready to run for them all the time. It can actually run for one person. It can run for 50 people. It can run for 10,000 people. It doesn't matter.
And it's pre-recorded.
It's pre-recorded. It's not live.
And it's not even one that you had to make, right?
That's right. Because it's not live, you're getting ahead of me here. Because it's not live, it never crashes. It never gets screwed up. You never freeze up and say, oh, what am I going to do? You never have that problem. And then, like I said, I started thinking about doing it a little bit better. I started thinking about the problem that people have of actually being able to build a webinar. It takes a lot of work. So I built this platform. I was using it myself. I was like, okay, that's great. Never crashes, runs all the time. It generates me money when I'm not even here. But what about the people that don't know how to sell? Right. So what I did was I made webinars for people. I did the work. I tested them with my own email list, made sure they converted, put everything together for them, and then they now have done for you webinars that we know sell, that we know people will buy from at the end.
And they get 100% of profits. And yes, if I'm not mistaken, they can take any webinar on the planet that's already been recorded and use that with the software as well.
Yeah, you can go ahead and make your own. You can take any one that's already recorded and plug it in, or you can use one of the pre-made ones that I've already done for you that I know work as well.
Yep.
So you have a lot of options there. And the important thing now is now people just getting started, they don't have to go through any of that pain. They don't have to try to get people to show up. They don't have to build a presentation. They don't have to worry about getting scared on camera. It's all done for them. It's all automated. That's actually where I came from. Autonars was automated webinars.
I got you. And I think the biggest, benefit of this is they don't have to sell. They don't have to do the selling. Selling takes a lot of skill, takes a lot of trial and error, takes a lot of practice, guys. It was 2 years before I finally got okay at selling, and I hated it so much. I ended up with like a very bad drug addiction because it just felt, I hated it. So I actually had to learn how to, sell the honest way. And the way that I've been able to do that is just provide you guys with information. And if it's something you're interested in, pick it up. If not, cool. At least you got the facts. And so that, that's how I came around. But when you're just getting started, selling's hard. I remember writing my first piece of copy, Brett, and it took me 6 days, like 6 17-hour days until I was like happy with it. And I didn't even do it from scratch. I was using a template. Like, it's not easy, man. And when you have to convert, the whole copy and sales page thing into a video presentation, it's even harder, to the point I still have never done a sales webinar. I've done training webinars and free content. I have never, not in my 8 or 9 years, written or done a sales webinar, because it's just hard.
But it's really hard to do when you're doing a sales webinar. It's actually even harder than, like, say, writing a sales page, because if you don't, people can see you, people can hear you. If you don't come off as confident, if you don't come off with this almost a little bit of a, clout in your voice and in your posture and stuff, people are going to catch up on that, and it's not going to convert.
Absolutely.
So that's why when people get started with webinars or sales promotions and stuff, they're like, hey guys, and they're shy and they're nervous, and that hurts their conversions. And then that even makes it worse, because since it didn't work that time, then the next time they're like, oh, well, I suck at this, and they're even worse off than they were to begin with.
But here's the thing. If you can get good at selling and you can do webinars, you make a lot more money. Okay, so the people that I know that do webinars full time, they're making $2, $3, $4 million profit a year in the internet marketing space, selling products that are paying, $500, $1,000, $2,000 in affiliate commissions to the affiliate per sale. And so webinars are kind of just like a normal affiliate promotion, right? So if you're promoting someone else's webinar, it's like you're promoting someone else's, product on JVZoo. You send people to sign up, they show up, the person sells to them, they buy, you get paid, right? And so here's how, Autonars, at least to me, is special. So if I'm a new person and I want to, and I'm like, okay, so I really want to make, a decent amount of money. I don't want $7 commissions. I don't want $27 commissions. I want, $500 commissions. I want something where I don't have to do the selling. If I'm a new person, what I do is I take Autonars, right? I go use, done a few webinars that come with it, if I want to, or hop on to JVZoo. They've got a webinar affiliate program now. Find one of those automated webinars, plug it into Autonars, get some traffic to it, which if you don't have traffic, don't worry. For those of you that do decide, that this might be right for your business, I got you covered in all traffic. We'll talk about that later. But so we send the traffic to it and people watch, and I just sit back and wait for a sale to come in. And to me, that is awesome, because to be honest, nobody likes to, do a ton of work and make $7 commissions or $20 commissions, whatever. But when the commissions turn into $500 and you actually don't really have to do any of the hard work, none of the selling, none of the technical stuff, you don't have to, pay $500 a month for GoToWebinar. It's very enticing, and that's why I'm excited about this.
Don't discount. I understand what you're saying, but don't discount those $20 commissions either, though. I mean, I made $300 grand $20 at a time so far this year. So.
Oh, I know. I get it, but a lot of people have, they don't have the time that we do to dedicate to IM, right? So if I'm somebody that's maybe got an hour a day, to work on internet marketing, in my head, it's more beneficial to do something like this, where every sale I make is worth $500 or $1,000. Compared to, a few sales at $20. I don't mean to discount it. I'm just saying, this software really kind of bridges the gap, because previously webinars were for, people who have been in the industry for a long time, had a really good product, had, a sales presentation they tested, 80 million times, and they're selling a product at $500, $1,000, $5,000. It's really it was for the elite, the people that were at the top. And so I think why I'm so intrigued by this is that it really opens the door up for kind of anyone to do it, right? Because the hardest part is the technical stuff, the traffic, and the selling. I've got you covered on the traffic. The software's got you covered on the selling. And so it's kind of like, this kind of seems like it, and I don't know if this is cliche, and I don't want to kind of jump the gun, but this could kind of change the webinar space, Well,
yeah, if you're going to, especially, and I do have some traffic in there as well. One of the bonuses they get if they pick up Autonars is actually my group Traffic Profits, which shows how I use Facebook groups to get traffic. As you know, I actually have one of the most successful Facebook groups in the IM business as well. My group Traffic Profits teaches how I built that up, how you can get traffic from groups. The software itself covers all the technical stuff. You'll never have a technical issue. I actually say unlimited. Unlimited attendees, I will be totally honest. I built a system to be able to handle 400,000 people concurrently. I figured it's probably safe to call that unlimited, though.
That's insane, dude.
And as far as the selling stuff goes, I know how to sell. And if you use a pre-made webinar, I made the webinars.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right?
Basically getting the sales experience of a guy who does $1 million+ a year, because I've done all the pre-made webinars for you. You're using my style, my skill to sell, but you're the one making the money. You make 100% commission, still you make all the money.
That's good. And on top of that, they can use any other webinar they want to. And if maybe if you're a good salesman, you could make your own. Maybe you're in, just throwing this out there to give you ideas. If maybe you own a small real estate company, and you want to teach others, I don't know, how to flip houses. You could put together a course about flipping houses and sell that for $2,000 just by sending traffic to it and letting the software do the work. Of course, you'd have to create the presentation, right? But Brett gives you presentations, and let me see if look, I'm going to share my screen. JVZoo also has a ton of presentations right here. I've got a book, automated webinars, right? You just click, you log in, you go to affiliates, click on find automated webinars. So you've got a bunch of options here. You can use, Brett's webinars, which he runs all the time. They've been split tested. They're proven to convert. You could do that. You could do this, you can make your own. The point is, webinars are no longer a tool of the elite internet marketers. It's now something that everybody can do thanks to software. So okay, man, let's really jump into the nitty gritty. All right, I'm gonna start asking you questions. Get people watching, the usual information. But I did want to, kind of spend a little time talking about that stuff. So I appreciate you indulging me.
Yeah, man, ask away. I'm ready. Give me the hard ones.
All right, man. Let's just list it out one more time to recap. What are the unique selling points of Autonars?
Well, the fact that it's evergreen. So you don't have to worry about trying to get people to show up at a specific date. It's always running. Every time somebody's ready for your presentation, it's always running for them. It's always ready for them. Autonars also has done for you webinars. So if you don't want to make a webinar, it has done for you webinars that you can earn 100% commissions on with all my selling experience. And I have quite a bit of selling experience. I don't want to brag, but it's true. I do.
Yeah, you're really rubbing me the wrong way here, Brett.
Well, I try not to self-promote myself, but it's true. I do have quite a bit of selling experience.
No, you're very skilled and you're mostly humble. I think you deserve. You can brag a little bit, but don't do it again.
All right, I won't do it again.
I'm just kidding, dude. Anyway, what else makes it unique?
Autonars also has features that other systems don't. For example, I've seen automated webinar platforms before. One of the problems I had with some of the other automated platforms was that people can't ask questions. So that's a big thing about webinars. People can ask questions. That's one of the reasons why webinars work so well. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at a product, you're telling me about a product for sale, and I can say, well, I don't understand this. I can ask the presenter a question. That's a big selling point. So when most of these automated webinar systems, you go ahead and you ask a question and it says your question has been emailed to the presenter. Well, that's stupid, because by the time the person answers the email, the webinar is over, the customer is gone, right?
Absolutely.
Imagine going to a car dealership and saying, hey, I'm interested in buying a car. Can I ask you a question about this car? And then the salesman says, sure, go home. I'll email you about it. That's retarded, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I started thinking. That was a big problem I had with the existing system. So I actually built in live questions. So people on your evergreen webinar can ask a question, and it can go to your phone and you can answer them wherever you're at. When I was doing one of my tests, I was actually selling one of my softwares, and I sent it to my list to test out the Autonar system. I was sitting on my phone, on my couch, watching Family Guy and answering people's questions on my phone. And they're like, oh, you're here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here. But I wasn't there. I was on my phone watching TV.
Well, what about costs? I know GoToWebinar. Let me just check. GoToWebinar, which is like the biggest webinar platform out there. If you were to create a webinar and want to run it on your own, you have to have a way to do it. And GoToWebinar currently costs $430 a month. That's huge.
That's right. And if you're making $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year, $430 a month is not a big deal. That's a tax write-off. You don't care. But if you're just getting started, if you're just trying to build up your business, $400 a month is prohibitively expensive. That's a car payment. That's half your mortgage.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
Electric bill, So that's a food budget. So that's a big thing that keeps people. Autonars has no monthly cost, and it's nowhere near $400. So.
Yeah. So you save a lot of money. It's got all the same features. People watch when they're ready, which I think is kind of a big thing in and of itself. Because how many times are people like, yeah, cool, I'll be here that day at that time, and then they don't show up, right? But if they can just immediately get there and immediately start watching while they're immediately interested in it, I feel like that's going to have higher conversions. Do you have any data on that?
Well, no, I don't have statistics number. I'm not going to quote numbers if I didn't prepare them. But I can tell you for sure it does actually work better. And again, I've done that too, where I was promoting a webinar to my list, to running Facebook ads, getting people to sign up. I'm doing the webinar and I'm like, awesome, 2,000 people signed up. And then I get to the webinar, the live webinar, 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and there's 19 people there. I'm like, what the hell?
Yep.
Now I got to do this whole presentation for 19 people.
Right. You have to. You're obligated. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. It really was previously a tool of the elite. That's how they would sell their highest price stuff. But now you can sell it by just plugging in any done, webinar that's already, recorded.
And that's actually another thing I thought about, and it comes down to why Autonars is an evergreen platform. Because imagine this, going back to that car dealership example. When people sign up for your webinar, right, they're ready. They're interested in what you have, right? And then what do you say to them? Okay, well, we're doing a webinar 3 days from now. Come back then.
By then, you know, they've changed their thought process. Or maybe they forget, they get busy. You know, you really lose that initial excitement.
Imagine walking into a car dealership. You say, "I'm ready to buy a car right now," and the manager comes down and says, "Okay, cool, but our salesman's not here. Come back tomorrow."
Yeah,
you're like, dude, you're an idiot. Yeah. That's what people do all the time with these live webinars. They say, "Come back later." It's silly.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So done for you webinars, they can import any webinar. Questions are sent to their email inbox. Obviously, you save a ton of money because it's not monthly, nor hundreds of dollars. It's evergreen, meaning person signs up, they start watching, so it's always running. Anything else that makes it unique?
No, I mean, I think that that's quite a few things there.
No, that is. I wanted to make sure we didn't miss anything. All right, who would you say is the target audience for this? In other words, who's going to benefit the most from this? Like, you know, who do you think is going to get the most out of it?
Well, honestly, I think that, and it sounds cliche to say it, but I think everybody's the target audience. I think people that are established are the target audience because they can use this for evergreen presentations. But I think as far as who's going to benefit from it the most,
you went quiet.
Sorry. I didn't want you to hear me cough in my mic.
Oh, thank you.
As far as people who are going to benefit from the most, honestly, people just getting started are going to benefit from the most because they get to use my sales experience with the pre-made webinars. They get to make 100% commissions with the pre-made webinars. So if I actually said to you, I said, "Hey, Steven, you know, you're more established." I said, "Steven, I got a webinar made for you." You'd be like, "Okay, good for you, Brett. I can sell myself." But somebody just getting started, I say, "Hey, I got a pre-made webinar for you." They're getting $1 million a year's worth of experience done for you know.
Okay, so can I ask you a tough question now?
Yes.
Can you show us, would you be willing to show us maybe some earnings of, you know, 1 or 2 of the done for you webinars that you've included?
Yeah, let me go.
Just so people can see how they convert, you know, I mean, I know you do it. I'm on your email list. I get the emails.
Yeah, I'm going to have to open up JVZoo and Chrome. I usually use Firefox. Let me open up JVZoo and Chrome.
I just, you know, I want people to see, you know, these are things that convert, you know, once the traffic's there, using the bonus I'm going to give you, all the hard work's been done for you. You know, Brett's not slinging mud over here and yanking your chain. You know, he runs webinars a lot, and he has split tested his script a lot. I've actually sent traffic to his webinars and made money. Let me actually see if I can find my results, just so you can see. But let's wait and see what Brett shows us here. Well, you know, these are the done for you webinars that come with the software, at least 1 or 2 of them. By the way, how many total webinars do they get?
There's 2 in the front end, and then there's an upgrade for 3 or for 4 more.
Awesome. And of course, they can import any other webinar that they want. So, I mean, you really have unlimited choices here.
Let me go ahead and find. I want to look through my account.
I know you've got a lot of data.
I want to find information that I just did with the Autonar system. I don't want to give you false information.
That's okay.
I want to find.
I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Take your time. I'm just talking to my hosting support while I do this interview because my website's down.
Nice.
Yeah, I keep it really casual.
Yeah, I apologize for the wait here.
No, it's okay. I kind of sprung it on you there. I didn't, give you time to prepare. I like to do that.
I want to make sure that I give a real one, though. I mean, I could show you any product that has tens or hundreds of thousands of sales, but that wouldn't be fair. I want to show one that's actually just with this.
But yeah, guys, while Brett's doing that, I'll just tell you a little bit about my experience with webinars. I suck at them. I mean, I can promote webinars of other people's that they've created, but whenever I try to create a web, it's just not easy, man. It's not even if you're good at copywriting, which you know, is a feat in its own right. It takes, you know, a long time to get good at. Webinars is just a whole different beast because, you know, you're actually selling. You know, you they hear your voice, they hear your inflection, they can tell if you're lying, they can tell if you're telling the truth, they can tell if you're yanking their chain or like pulling some sort of weird voodoo on them. You know, you know, it's not easy. And to get done for you webinars like this is going to give you a huge step up, especially because you're going to get 100% commissions on it, meaning you keep it all. Whereas the webinars that, you know, are on JVZoo, you know, those are going to have different commission structures, maybe 50%, maybe 60%. But when, you know, when you're talking about, you know, higher price offers, like the one I'm looking at right now, it says $300 a month. So 50% a month, that's 150 a month for each sale you make, and that's recurring. So you get paid every month for that. You know, so you make a lot of money whether you use these done for you webinars, whether you use the ones on, you know, JVZoo, or whether you make your own, if you're good at it, which I'm definitely not.
We're ready when you are.
Okay, go for it. Let's see. These are his stats from using Autonars on one of the done for you webinars that you're going to be getting. If you want to share your screen now.
All right, can you see my screen here?
Yeah, I've got you.
All right, so there's a whole bunch of products on the screen here, but these two are the ones that we did when we tested Autonars. So there's 3,481, 130 sales, and there's 938. Now these are still going on; they're still running. So I expect I'll get more sales as time goes on. But these ones are solely done with Autonars. And if I go down here, I think I have another one.
Interesting that you take the lower price route. That definitely works as well. You know, it's definitely a guaranteed income, and I would say conversions are probably a lot higher on a lower price webinar too. So, you know, you could definitely get a ton of sales that way.
This is actually this one right here. Now this was partially. I want to be clear about this one right here. The first one that I just showed you at 3,800 and at 900 and something was all Autonars. This one here is partially Autonars. So I actually go to Autonars. You can see I actually have a webinar for Profit Canvas still running. Some of this was from Autonars, some of this wasn't. So I want to be clear about that. But that first one I showed you at 3,800 and 900 was all Autonars. And as far as there's others here too. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. I didn't know you were going to ask that question. I should.
No, it pop quiz, man. I always like to put people on the spot to see how they react.
But let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. How do I do that?
You're good. I see it.
Okay, great. But to answer your question about the lower ticket price, the reason I go the lower ticket price is because in order for people to see your webinar, they have to sign up, right? They have to sign up for the webinar. So what I actually do is I run Facebook ads to my Autonars, and then I sell a low ticket just to cover the price of the Facebook ad. So that way I'm building my list for free.
Gotcha. That's well, hey, that's smart. So you know that you get paid, but you also get a free lead. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then I send them to the other ones. Then I send them to the other higher ticket prices. So I usually get them in at a low one, and then get paid, build my list, and now
that's crappy.
I send them to the higher ticket prices afterwards. You know, that's a funnel. You start off with a lower ticket price, and then you funnel them down to the higher ticket price.
Yeah, I mean, you can really take, you know, any kind of sales approach to that. You know, build a whole funnel, send directly to a higher price. You know, Brett, there's going to be a bonus that Brett's including to show you how to get free traffic from Facebook. I'm also going to be showing you how to do this with free traffic. So the traffic's covered, the selling's covered. All you got to do is either use his done for you webinars or find one on JVZoo and start sending traffic to it, and you'll make a sale. I mean, like, seriously, you know, the stuff people are hosting on JVZoo are also pretty split tested. You know, what I'll do as well as the traffic, let me just go ahead and write this down so I don't forget, is I'll include a list of the highest converting webinars on JVZoo. So you can run as many webinars as you want. You know, you could set up a campaign for the done for you ones you get. You can set up, you know, as many campaigns as you want. It doesn't matter because, you know, the software essentially does all the work for you. You know, so you could set up 10 campaigns of 10 high converting webinars, start sending traffic to it, you know, using my free traffic that I'm going to give you and the one Brett's going to give you, and just kind of, you know, smooth sailing. You know, It's really cool. I think it's really cool.
Something that's interesting I want to point out too is you had said that JVZoo has pre-made webinar platform. They do, and honestly, anybody can promote their products on those if you want to. But you need to be, if you're going to promote a product on a JVZoo webinar, you need to keep in mind that it's the vendor of that product that's building up that email list.
Absolutely.
Whereas with Autonars, I don't get the email, you do, and that's important. You need to build up your email list. If anybody ever wants to know the #1 thing you should do in business is you should be building your email list always.
No, I 100% agree. I mean, because an email list is an asset. But you know, yeah, I mean, no, you're right. There, you know, and if you actually go and talk to these vendors and get a hold of them, webinar vendors kind of like aren't like product vendors most of the time because they're always trying to find people they can, you know, run their webinar recording with. So you can actually, you know, talk to them, and some of them will give you a copy of the list too. So, you know, that may be something worth pursuing as well. But absolutely, Brett's right. You know, obviously, the easiest thing to do when you jump right in is going to just start off with the done for you once he gives you, because you get to keep the money and build the list. But you know, with just a little more effort as well, you could also create separate campaigns, start promoting JVZoo webinars, start building leads, you know, that way as well. You know, the opportunities here are you know, kind of just up to your imagination. All right, Brett, next question. What makes Autonars stand out or different than any competition? Which I know we kind of already covered, so you can keep it short if you want.
Well, first of all, the fact that there's the done for you webinars, the fact that you're getting me to build them for you. There's plenty of webinar systems out there. I'm not going to lie. There are pre-made webinar systems. There's automated webinar systems out there, and they give you the platform. They say, here you go, figure it out. So I don't want to brag, but my experience has value. My ability in this business has value, and you're basically getting that value in the form of the done for you webinars.
Right, and that are proven to. I mean, so when I'm looking to, let me just explain for everybody. When you're an affiliate and you're looking to promote, you know, a JVZoo product or a webinar, you're looking at things like conversion percentage, earnings per click. Hang on one second. I'll cover that. You're looking at, you know, conversion percentage, and all of that stuff tells a story, right? And that story is how good is the vendor at selling this product? You know, what kind of skills do they have? Are they a good copywriter? Does their front end convert, but do their OTOs not convert? You know, does their front end convert at maybe 5%, but the OTOs are converting at 70%? So I'm looking for something to promote, right? I'm looking for something that has high front end conversions. You know, we're talking 15, 20%, high front end EPCs, and then at a very minimum, 30% on the OTO conversions, right? When I see those numbers, I know that person that is selling that product knows how to sell, right? And that's the hardest part about it, is the selling. And so what you're getting from Brett is pretty much someone who knows how to sell. You know, I've promoted a lot of Brett's softwares in the past. They're really good, but also they convert really well. And you know, copywriting isn't a science; it's more like an art form. It takes a certain, you know, level of it's just skill. It takes skill, and it's not an easy skill to pick up, you know, and it's much harder when you try to apply that skill to webinars. So, you know, if you're, you know, kind of still trying to piece this together in your head and understand, what I'm just trying to say is, you know, having a webinar that is proven to convert, is already perfectly crafted in a formulaic way that's, you know, guaranteed conversions, has been tested, you know, 24 times, you know, worked and reworked until it's perfect. I mean, you know, guys, that takes hundreds and hundreds of hours to do once you already have the skill. You know, it probably takes years and years to even learn the skill, you know? So, you know, it's a lot more valuable than Brett is letting on, because selling is just not easy. You know, you could have everything, right? You could have traffic, you could have affiliates, you could have, you know, good content. But if you don't know how to sell, you're not going to make any money.
Going by what you're saying, and I'll be honest. I mean, being that I used to be a freelance developer. I said that earlier, so I can code fast because when I was a freelancer, you get paid by the job. So the more jobs you do per week, the faster you can code. So I mean, I can spit out 100 lines of code in a month. Right? When I started building this system, I started building it in October of 2016. Okay, I had it ready for testers in January. So it took me from October to January to build the system. It took me from January until just about 3 weeks ago to refine the webinars and make sure they were perfect and done for use. So I spent as much time on the pre-made webinars as I did on typing 250,000 lines of code.
Oh man, well, just to give you an idea here, it's big business. I know people who will write webinars for bigger internet marketers. They charge $15,000, $20,000 just to write it. The other person still has to perfect the delivery, right? So half the the battle is writing it, half the battle is delivering it and being good at delivering it. It's just not easy. All right, next question, man. What kind of investment is needed with Autonars?
Well, there's the price of Autonars. I mean, that's pretty much it. Now, if you go ahead and you follow my training and my Facebook training that I included as a bonus, you can start doing that for free.
Okay, so the traffic's free. Do they need a website or anything?
No, you don't need any type of website. Everything is hosted. It's all cloud-based. The vast majority of the software that I write is cloud-based, just because that's the programming language I know. I know the language to write cloud-based software. So it's all cloud-based. It's all hosted for you. Like I said, I do say the system is unlimited attendees, but it's been built. Being completely honest, I built it for 400,000 people so simultaneously. I think that's fair to call that unlimited. So you got a high-end server running for you. So yeah, it's all done for you. It's all prepared.
Cool. Okay, and what is the cost for Autonars?
It is $37 initially.
One time?
Yeah. Now I will say this, and I know everybody says this. My products don't disappear. Like when my launch is over, it's not going to vanish. It's not going to go away. It's not going to be gone. The price will go up.
Right.
So
it's $37. What day does it launch and at what time?
It is launching the 15th, which I believe is Thursday.
Let me check there. Yeah.
I need to see my calendar. It's the Internet Marketing Lifestyle. I don't know the day of the week.
Yeah, I have that one too.
It's the 15th. This is Thursday at 10 a.m.
Okay, 10 a.m. Eastern. And 37, that's the early bird price, right?
No, there's going to be a $34.95 for the first couple of hours. Yeah, I'm sorry.
How many hours?
That's actually up to Mike. I partner with Mike from Maine. So generally when we do a launch, he does all that stuff, and I make sure the servers don't crash.
Okay, fair enough. I assume it'll probably be 3 to 4. I'll get the details and put it on the page on soloapp.org so you guys can see. But at 10 a.m. Eastern on Thursday, June 15th, the starting price is $34.95 for the first few hours. Then it goes up to $37. What's the price going to end at the end of the launch?
We're looking at, and I'm debating, I'm going to have to see what my ongoing costs are, because I'm going to continue to promote this ongoing as well. I'm going to see what my ongoing costs are. So it's going to be between $67 and $97.
And is that going to be recurring or one time?
No, that's going to be one time as well.
Okay. I told you, just nitty-gritty details. and how long is the discount period? Like, how long is the launch price going to be? Like, how long is the launch? How long is the launch price going to be available? 3
days.
Okay, 3 days. So it starts on the 15th, and their launch discount expires mid 11:59 of the 17th. Is that?
Yeah, midnight on the 17th. And I mean, incidentally, and people who have bought from me or know me know how strict I am about that. Like, I will be sitting here at 11:55 waiting to press and not allow sales on JVZoo at midnight.
Yeah, no, you have to be, and again, that's part of your brand. You are one of the more straightforward, non-bullshit, honest internet marketers, and that's why you have such a huge following. Like I said, guys, go to Rutecki.com and just go through his reviews, especially some of the older ones. There's a lot of good stuff.
That's when I was really wild in my old.
I'm not making this up. I've been in bed before and unable to sleep, and I'll just kind of like see what kind of drama was on your website, 2 years ago or whatever. It's entertaining.
I
for me.
remember 30 years ago, and because I was being so honest in my reviews, being so blunt, and he says, he goes, you don't even understand this business. He goes, why don't you go get yourself a job at McDonald's? Like, he actually said that to me. I was like, yes, I do.
I know, man.
I understand that being honest to people is a good thing, and apparently he was right.
You know, people in this not people, but like sellers in this industry have this like almost like we're a fucking part of my language, almost like we're a mafia, right? Like, keep your mouth shut, don't blow our cover. You promote me, I'll promote you. Like, I had some asshole, and I'm just really upset to me because I hate this type of crap in internet marketing, you know. And if any of you have seen my heart-to-heart video, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, go watch it. soulweb.org/heart-to-heart. But basically, man, a lot of people in this industry expect you to keep your mouth shut and sell whatever crap they're pitching, right? So I had a guy threaten me one day. Long story short, you know, the last thing I said to him was like, screw me, right? I actually care more about my customers than your wallet. You know, I mean, these people are assholes. They could be selling, like, I'm not going to name any names. I'm trying to watch my language. There's a guy who is about to sell software in the next couple weeks. Here's what the software does. It takes other people's content, could be anything, and turns it into a PDF file. And how is he selling it? He's selling it as get rich quick, take other people's content to create an ebook and sell that ebook to other people. You know, it's first of all, before we even talk about how stupid that is, it's just plain wrong to sell advice and expertise to people if you don't actually know anything yourself. You know, it just, I hate this industry sometimes. I hate it all the time.
I've had people tell me they were going to sue me. I've had people tell me they were going to punch me. I've had people tell me all kinds. I remember I went to Orlando 2 years ago. I went to my first convention, and I get off the airport. And I'm looking around because I'm like, make sure nobody comes from behind at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it, man.
Unfortunately, not everybody's like that.
No,
there
definitely
are good people out there. I mean,
absolutely.
You're a good person. And
thanks.
And I mean, you know, so fortunately, there are good people out there.
Well, you know, there's a movement, right, that I think started with you, to be honest, you know, where people who had a conscience were just like, you know, enough is enough, right? And so you have kind of a small / decent sized outcropping of vendors and affiliates who care and are ethical and are holding people accountable finally, you know. And this is a movement that you know has been going on for the last year now, you know. But I think you really kicked it off by saying, screw you guys, I don't care what you think, I care what my customers think. And that's awesome. It gave people the courage to also stand up, you know, because, you know, deep down, these people that are selling this junk, they know it's wrong, you know. That's why when they get called out, like, you know, the most recent one was someone we shall not name, they go crazy on your Facebook status and cuss you out.
Yeah, that was interesting. When that happened recently, it was we won't name the guy, like I said, but it was a guy I actually used to promote for, and he bought a real bad product, and I told everybody, I was like, this is bad, you can't buy this.
Yeah.
And he sent me this message. He flipping out, and he's like, that's it, Brett, we're done. I was like, well, last year I sent you 50,000 in sales, so if you don't want me to do it again, that's cool, we could be done. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
It's just people. Here's the sad fact, folks. 80%, 85% of the vendors and affiliates in this industry don't give a shit about you. And I hate to say that, but it's true. They only care about one thing, and it's money. You know, I've had somebody that was going to be at my wedding, right? We were partners at internet marketing, you know, business partners. He was going to be standing next to me at my wedding, and he stole 30 grand from me. You know, people in this space can be really sleazy. You know, the name this industry has gained for itself isn't unwarranted, right? But thankfully, there really is a genuine movement now to fix that, to hold people accountable, to actually put out stuff that works. And when something doesn't work, to tell people about it, you know, to ring the alarm bells. You know, Brett's got a private Facebook group where he warns people. I've got a private Facebook group where I warn people. Both can be found on our respective websites. You know, there are resources out there in this industry. There are people in this industry trying to change it for the better and put you guys first, because that's how it should be. Right? You shouldn't have some guy, some neckbeard sitting behind a damn computer lying to, you know, tens of thousands of people to try to take their hard-earned money. You know, it's just not, it's not morally okay, you know? And I think, you know, because, and I know we're not talking, I know we're on a huge here, but, you know, I think finally, you know, things are starting to change, and it'll be, you know, a long process, but, you know, because we have the moral high ground, Brett, I think eventually we will get to a point where there are at least, instead of 15%, there are 25% decent printers in this industry.
You know, I started my business with the idea that if I treat people like people, they will reward me with their trust. You know?
Yeah.
And that's why I only sell things that I actually want to use in my own business. I only sell things that I actually test in my own business. Everything, I can honestly say, Autonars included, everything I sell, I've actually used in my business.
Yeah.
You know, so Autonars is one of them. It's a product that I built for my business. I think it's really going to help people, especially with the Done For You webinars just getting started. If I didn't believe that it was going to be beneficial to people, I wouldn't build it. And I'll be honest, there has been things where I've written, and you know, I only launch like 3 times a year. I've actually written more software than that. I've written software and I've tested in my own business, and I didn't get the results I expected. And I was like, well, how can I sell this now? Oh, well, you know, do something else now. You know.
And see, that last side tangent about, I'll stop preaching, I promise. I had to get that out, because that shitty, stupid software that guy's launching is so dumb, and he's gonna rip people off. Anyway, last side tangent. It's funny you say that, Brett, because you've kind of, you know, called so many people out and held so many people accountable, people watch you and wait for you to make one misstep so they can publicly cuss you out and call you all terrible kinds of names on Facebook. I have seen it half a dozen times in the last 2 years alone. You know, I've been a part of those threads, like defending what I call the morality movement, you know, like, it's funny. It's just like, you know, and I have the same problem too, you know, because I started calling people out too after, you know, you did, and one misstep and people are ready to throw me to the wolves. Hey, he's a hypocrite. And it's like, no, I'm human, but here's what makes me different. I'll make a video apologizing, saying you were right, and not sell it, you know, or just make it right. I'll do whatever it takes. Whereas you're just going to sell it and try to make as much money as you can, you know?
Yes, that's the beauty of it almost too, because you're right. People, because I've been so blunt, and I've had every single marketer yell at me. You name a marketer, probably Stephen in this Gilbert. Space, one of them yell at me. What?
Stephen Gilbert.
Oh, you're such a jerk. I've had a lot. Okay, I've had a lot of people yell at me. I've written some slightly negative things about your stuff. I'm pointing out the bad things.
I'm okay with that.
But you haven't yelled at me because you actually can accept critique. But you know, so I know a lot of these guys are like always constantly waiting for me to screw up just so they can get a little payback, you know. But the thing is, I do what I say. I am honest to people. I use my software. I test it first, and if it doesn't work, I scrap it.
Right.
Okay, I wrote this, it didn't work, but Autonars does, so I'm selling it.
I know I said that this is the last thing for real though. I just never understood, you know, if somebody's giving you feedback that you didn't think about, that's going to make your product better and easier to use or help people more, why wouldn't you, you know, take that advice? That's why I don't get upset. You know, you haven't been the only person to critique stuff I put out. You know, I've gotten the occasional bad critique over the years, and it doesn't upset me at all. Because what I do is I look at it, okay, how can I make this product do what they say it should do, right? How can I fix that so that the customer, the person who's actually going to be using it the most, right, gets the best experience out of it? And that's just, that to me, I just feel like that's how business should be. You know, customers should be first. If you don't have something that's not actually going to help people, don't take their money for it, you know? Anyway, all right, I'm done preaching. I'm sorry, guys. let's wrap this up, Brett. Tell me about OTO1. How much does it cost? What does it do?
OTO1 is the 4 more done for you webinar. So you get 2 done on the front end. OTO1 is 4 more. So that's 4 more products that you can get 100% commissions on. 4 more products that I've created done for you webinars for. That is $67. So that works out to like what? $18 a done for your webinar. Try and get a done for your webinar for $18 somewhere else and see how that works out. So I think that's a pretty fair one.
Right. Okay. The next one?
The OTO2 is 4 weeks of coaching. So I know that people want to learn how to do promotions. They want to learn how to get traffic in depth. They want to learn how to be more self-sustained. And I think a lot of times people can get confused. It's frustrating when they get started. So both Mike and I, Mike is my partner, you know that.
Mike from Maine.
Mike from Maine, yes. Mike from Maine is I don't know if he's a 7-figure marketer yet, but he is a very high 6-figure marketer, you know, 500,000-600,000 a year.
Okay, so he may not be at 7 figures a year, but he's maybe well over 7 figures online, which is more than like 99.5% of people.
Oh yeah, he's definitely made in the millions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think he's maybe 600,000 a year, but he's going to do the webinars with me. We're going to do live coaching for people as well for 4 weeks. That is $47, which is about $12 a week. So
how many webinars a week?
1 webinar a week. Yep.
Okay.
So we're going to walk people through 4 weeks through coaching, setting up a business, learning how to get traffic, learning how to be successful online. And then the final OTO is being able to sell Autonars as your own product. So one of the best things to do online is to sell a product. And I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to sell Autonars as their own product with all the commissions made. They can make all the money off of it and build their email list.
Is there a webinar they can plug into Autonars to sell Autonars?
There actually is. We built an Autonar that they can use to sell Autonars. Yes.
That's awesome. And how much is that?
That depends on the license and how many they want to pick up, how many licenses they want to sell. We've tried to keep it around $1 per license, though. So if they want 100 licenses, like $97. So you get to pay $1 for a license and then sell it for $47.
And what are the options of what are the packages for OTO?
There's 50, 100, and 200.
Okay, so you could get 50 licenses. Okay, and there's a webinar. That's pretty cool. I had a question about OTO2. Do they get anything else with the coaching besides the weekly webinars? Is there some sort of Facebook group or any kind of, any way to contact you and get support or anything?
Well, anybody can contact me anytime. If you actually go into Autonars, and all my software, by the way, there's a support desk. And one of the things that's also unique about me is I do my support. So when you go ahead and you send a message, and it's kind of funny because like people would like send a support request and be like, "Hey, Brett support, can you ask Brett how to do this?" And I write back and I'd be like, "Hey, Jen, nice to meet you. This is Brett support, also Brett."
Yeah, man, I answer my emails. I have a support desk for like just the basic stuff like refunds or download links. But I actually, 3 or 4 years ago, I ended up just outsourcing that because I got tired of reading the hateful messages. So I literally pay someone to be a filter and just send me the good stuff. And it's not like I get a lot. Like I would get maybe like 1, 2 hateful messages a year, but they were bad enough and consistent enough that it would like ruin my day. And I felt,
Mike actually does that for me. Mike goes into support. Like I always figure, especially with software, I figure the best person to do the support is the person that wrote the software. So that's why I do my own support. But sometimes people are really negative. I mean, I understand there's a lot of negativity in this business because there's some bad people out there and people get really negative. So Mike kind of goes in and like filters it out, because if I see a negative email or somebody being really aggressive or rude, it really bothers me. It like hurts my heart. I'll just be rude.
Oh yeah. I mean, I get really sad. Like, the last one I got was like probably 2014. Mid 2014, and I was just, not because what they said was right, just because I care, like I'm actually putting an effort for it. I'm not mistreating people. I'm not stealing money. I have a 100% refund policy. I say 30 days, but if you come to me at like 70 days and you want your money back, I'll give it to you. I want to earn your money. So when I get those messages, I was like, oh, I can't handle this. This is rough. People can be mean.
I had a lady at 3 a.m. She messaged me at 3 a.m. on a Saturday and complained Sunday morning because I didn't answer. And I'll be honest with that too. I mean, if you have a question, you can shoot it as support. If you send me a message at 3 a.m. on a Saturday, you're not going to get answered till Sunday afternoon, maybe, because I have to sleep too. But if as far as support questions and stuff, that comes with the software anyway. Yeah, I'm here for answering any questions they have.
Cool.
You do get a Facebook group too, though.
Oh, you just threw that in the end. By the way, there's a Facebook mastermind.
Yeah, there is a Facebook group as well for Autonars. So that way people, I like when people help each other and share ideas as a team.
Yeah. Well, no, and plus, I remember when I was first learning, we didn't have Facebook, but we used forums, the good old forums, where we would all share success stories, and it always kind of helped keep me motivated. But I remember one time I bought a product that came with an exclusive forum, and it was cool being able to see questions people were posted. So anytime I had a question or got hung up on something, I would go browse and see if somebody already asked, and most of the time they had, and I just got to read the answer, and it was that easy. Other times I got to ask and somebody replied, and it's just cool to have that support network. So I really do like this kind of group things. That's what after I saw the success of your group and how people, were so active in it, that's why I created one, because I wanted to be able to help others, in that way. I don't put as much content in my Facebook group as you do, but I'm active in it. People, I encourage everyone to ask any question about any vendor or any product, and we all work together. People will say, "Oh, I bought that. I've used it. It's good," or "No, that's shit," or "No, that guy scammed me. Don't trust me." So it's just a way for everybody to help each other. So whenever you get a chance to be in those group setting, guys, definitely recommend it. So Brett, okay, here we go. Final thing. Do you have any words of wisdom or personal story, or maybe some sort of call to action? I don't know, anything. What does it take to succeed with this online thing, or anything you want to say, really? Just
I want to tell a story about when I got on a Warrior forum. So when I told you I was freelancing, and I told I had people train me. So when I went on my own, now I quit freelancing, and that was a scary thing. I've got 3 kids. Okay, I've got children to feed. And when I went on my own, I stopped freelancing. It was very scary. I had at the time I had $8,000 in the bank, so that's enough money to last me 2 months. So it's make it or break it, right? And I remember I went over to the Warrior forum and I started browsing around in there, and I saw on the forum there was actually a sticky post that was up top, and it said, "Treat this like gold." It said, "Believe it or not, people have started $20,000 per month businesses online." Okay, and I remember reading that. And I remember thinking to myself, sorry for swearing, but I remember reading it and thinking to myself, what a bunch of bullshit. Nobody's making $20,000 a month online. Okay, and I think that negativity brought me down. I wasn't really as motivated because I thought those claims were bullshit. What I want everybody to take away is there are real people making real money. I mean, at this point, $20,000 a month would be a bad month. Okay, there are people making real money online. So don't let that negativity bring you down. There's so many scammers out there saying nonsense and stuff, and it's hard to think that it's real, but it is real. And always keep in mind, I'm no smarter than anybody else. Nobody is smarter than anybody else. Nobody's better than anybody else. Nobody's luckier than anybody else. It's just that I put in the effort. I put in the motivation. And that's what I want everybody to do. I want everybody to know that it's real if they believe in themselves. Put in the work, put in the effort, put in the motivation, and you can be successful. And I don't know who's watching this video, but I know that whoever is watching this video can be successful if you believe in yourself, if you just take action.
No, I ask that question every time I do an interview, right? And pretty much everyone always says, you just got to be persistent. But you said something else that I think is key, and I've been thinking about this recently. It takes 2 things. It takes persistence and believing in yourself, and not in the cliche, oh, just believe in yourself and think happy thoughts. No, knowing that if you're going to sit down, you're going to do this, you're going to get it done. If a problem happens, you're going to figure out how to fix it, and you're going to keep going so you're making money. And that was the exact mindset when I look back to when I first started, when I was having to do 80-hour weeks, for 6 months. That was my mindset. I'm not going to fail at this, I'll figure it out. You know?
What I think, I always think of this. Imagine if somebody told you that there's a pot of gold dug 20 feet in the ground in your backyard. You'd be out there with a shovel digging like crazy, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, there's a pot of gold online. So get digging. Okay.
All right. I like that. We'll leave it at that. Brett, man, I appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks for having me, Steve.
No, Brett, thank you. I know, guys, I'm a bit wired. I've been drinking coffee and taking caffeine pills all day because I stayed up all night. My daughter's sick. So I'm sorry if I'm a bit wired and that, you know, if I'm not acting as calm as I normally do. But, guys, Autonars, really cool software. Comes with done-for-you webinars. You know, it basically brings webinars and opens it up for everybody to make money with. All right? You don't have to do any of the selling. You don't have to, you know, spend $500 a month on some sort of, you know, recurring go-to webinar platform. You don't have to do any technical stuff. You just take the done-for-you webinars it comes with, take my bonus, as well as Brett's traffic training, start sending traffic to it. Guys, it's as easy as that. And what's cool about webinars is, you know, you're not just limited to, you know, $27, $47, $67 sales. I mean, you can make $500 sales. You can make $1,000 sales. So I highly recommend everyone check this out. It's launching Thursday, June 15th, 10 a.m. Eastern. The price for the early bird is going to be $34.95, and you only have 72 hours to get that launch discount before it goes way up, $67 or $97. So yeah, if you guys want, you know, if you guys want something that's going to do the selling for you, that's proven to convert, go back and you know, look at, you know, Brett's income proof that he shared with us live on the call. You know, this is the real deal. You just have to send the traffic. So we both got you covered on traffic. The done-for-you webinars got you covered on sales and conversions. You just got to do it. So be here, and you guys are gonna like it. So Brett, man, I know this was a long interview. I don't think I've ever done an interview this long.
Yeah, well, you and I have a lot of the same frustrations. So we went on the whole.
I know. We probably wasted like 30 minutes on that. Yeah.
For too much, I think.
Well, I know. We say it all the time. You know, I met Brett actually in Orlando at his first convention. Even though I've been in this industry for a long time, it was my first convention too. And we would just fucking talk. And I'm sorry I'm cussing. You know, me and Brett, we're pretty good friends. You know, that's why I say don't take my word for it when I tell you he's honest, and that's, you know, how he's built his following. Just go to his website, Rutecki.com, read it for yourself. You're not going to get any bullshit from this guy, and you know, he's part of the reason the industry is changing for the better, and part of the reason there's actually, you know, a handful of people you can trust online. So you know, I really respect Brett for what he's done for this space, because before we had nobody like him, and it was a free-for-all, you know, steal everybody's money. So it was just crap. It was immoral, and it was wrong. And you know, Brett kind of changed all that. So I have a lot of respect for the guy. But like I said, I'm biased. Don't take my word for it. Just go to his website and see how honest he is for yourself. Read the reviews, and you'll see. Otherwise, Autonars, guys. June 15th, Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, $34.95. Done for you webinars, done for you sales. What's not to like? Check out my bonuses below the video. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. Brett, thanks for so much time, man. Sorry.
Have a good night, Steve.
All right, bye, buddy.